And we're back. That's right. We're talking about this band again. Part two, baby. We're getting into it. Oh, yeah. New EPs, new music, new discussions. And I'm your boy, Matt Diazable, and I talk music. I review music. Thank you for finding me. Thank you for watching. I always appreciate it. The band we're going to talk about again is called Grow Blind with their latest EP, Everything I See. If you watched my last video, you know that I already talked about this band, so I'll go through this quickly. Grow Blind is a Indiana hardcore band that's been around since 2023, and this is their latest EP. And from their last EP, the self-titled, to this one, there's a little bit of a difference. They've shifted their sounds a little bit, so it's going to be interesting to talk about, this shift they've done here. And I gotta say, one of the biggest differences between their self-titled EP and this newest EP is that, they've kind of switched out their frantic energy, punchy sound to, I guess, move more into a darker, slow burning mode with this new EP. And the results are, a very well-produced EP with a little bit of thick and gritty feel to it and a very low end presence. But occasionally it struggles to, capture or match that same sonic weight. And it just seems like some of that urgency they had in their earlier work is kind of absent here. The opening song, Big Dreams, sets the tone with some really slow and shadowy guitar riffs and some really ominous bass lines that just really hook you in immediately. The drums seem to have a very crisp and nice double tap snare approach here that really keeps the tension alive on this track, while the guitars have a bit of a gritty, hypnotic feel to it with a little bit of, I guess a touch of dissonance to them when they're playing. Yet the vocals here, they seem a bit thin and small against the wall of sound coming from the band, and they kind of lack some bite that, just their old EP kind of had and this one doesn't really have. So it makes the track feel a little bit lopsided because the instrumentation on here is a very strong and, heavy foundation, while the vocals, they just seem a little lackluster. So here's a clip of Big Dreams for you. Feels a little flat. The next few songs, Two-Sided Mirrors and Pointing Fingers, keep some very deep and gritty guitar work and some very textured bass playing, but for some reason, the fire in this band just feels a little bit muted. The band still delivers some good playing here, but the vocals and even the backing vocals, they just seem, they're not really thriving that much. There's no urgency to them. So at times it feels like, you have a rhythm section that's pulling in one direction and then you have the vocals are going in another direction. So it just feels like the songs are being like, they seem to be good on paper, like they're coming up with some good ideas, but in like actual practice, they feel very disconnected. So I want to play a clip of Pointing Fingers so you get a sense of just how, they just feel off and just not really on the same page. Never face to face. Do you know your place? Never face to face. Do you know your place? I won't back off. Something's just off. I will say that sense of urgency / that spark the band really need really comes forth on the song Carry the Truth, where at the very beginning, the band seems really tapped in and just has that fire and that urgency and just really gives it their all in the opening stretch before slipping back into a very overly simple midsection that just kind of, I guess, blunts the momentum of this band. Production wise, everything seems really locked in and very clean, but there's a subtle sense of boredom in the delivery. And I guess they kind of kick things up a notch briefly towards the end of the song where the guitars get a little bit grittier and harder and just, have an overall good feel to it. Then you have the closing song here, which is also, I think, the lead single from this EP. And it stands out as the band's most confident moment on this EP. It's built on a groovier backbone. The riffs feel a lot tighter. The band feels more in sync. And there's almost some like rap-like style vocal cadences that just give the song a nice personality. And that vocal delivery really channels the swagger of Trapped Under Ice here. And it shows that the band can be really good when, the execution and the energy just really lock in and they have that great production value to back it up. So I want to play a clip of Homebody so you get a sense of just how the band can sound when they're like firing at all cylinders. This time made me who I'm supposed to be. Comes with me everywhere I go. A whole body and I let it show. This time made me who I'm supposed to be. There's just something about this song that just has a very oomphness. With this EP, I feel like Grow Blind can, show that they can shift into darker and moodier territories without ever really losing their knack for gritty and thick tones. But I hate to compare it to their debut EP, but it feels like, in the terms of the vocal delivery and the energy from the band, it feels like the band is holding back for some reason with this release. I will say, the band, when they can lock in, like on the song Homebody, they remind you of the raw, infectious force they can be. I just hope that the next release that they come out with, it can carry, that spirit they brought with the debut EP and just like string it along for the whole thing, because there just seems to be a lack of energy with this EP. So overall, I would have to give it a decent to okay 6 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this band. Give me some other recommendations. Maybe some bands from Indiana. I would love that. So, like always, see you in the pit. Been thinking good things about you.